Hello, everybody. Wow, technology. So I've been on the new app that I used the other day to talk to you that seems less pixelated, talking for quite a few minutes, and I realized nobody could see me. So then I came back to YouTube, and I'm hoping that you're here. Please let me know if you can see me because this is a real uphill struggle this morning. I was talking away. I said Happy New Year and hello to everybody.
You're on.
Okay,
You're on.
okay. Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. I am sorry about that. I was on my other new fancy program and talking to you for quite a while. I said good morning, happy new year to a bunch of people, and apparently there was nobody there. So I'm hoping that you're there now. I'm just going to scroll down, be sure. Okay, super. Good morning, happy Monday. That was not a good start. That was a starping starp.
Sober.
Good morning, Kira. Good to see you. I'm going to figure out where your yarn went. Some of the mail is still missing. I can't believe it. You know what? You all are so nice because my mother told me the other day when I used this new crazy fancy equipment that the I knew that the sound was bad when I played it back because I put my microphone on. I have this metal rolling tray, for the kitchen, and I think it was making an echo. So I have it over here now. So let me know if the mic is better. This is where I think it's supposed to be stationed. But my mother said my face was out of focus and nobody told me because everybody's too nice to say something negative. I know. But I think if my face is closer in, I hung two of my favorite rugs behind me. And I think because there's less busyness, I think the Christmas tree was stealing my thunder last time because it had all those Christopher Radkos and they were glittering. I think the camera kept trying to focus on that. Good morning, Kira. Good morning, Doreen. How are you? Good morning, Mom. Let me know, honestly, if things are going okay with this whole thing because it's a bit stressy. Good morning, Cynthia from San Antonio, Texas. Happy New Year to you, too. Good morning, Joelle. Perfect. Perfect for a walk. It is a sunny day. Okay, great. Great. I was saying to nobody in the last thread when I was talking to myself for 3 minutes, we got a little bit of a snow shower last night. It was projected to be worse, so it was a bit nerve-wracking, but it turned out to be about an inch of snow. I'm not going to touch the camera. I'm not that confident yet, but it wasn't so much for us here in Connecticut. Oh, I'm glad it's a nice day, Joelle. Good morning, Carol. Good to see you on. Good morning, Catherine. And Linda B, good morning in New Jersey, sunny New Jersey. Maybe the sun's making its way over. Good morning, Julie from Minnesota. Good morning, April. Did I say good morning, April? I did a few minutes ago, so now I'm confused because I'm starting over. Good morning, Julie. Good morning. Let's see who else is here. Oh, you're all chatting. That's great. Good morning, Donna. Happy New Year. Penny, I don't know if I said Happy New Year to you yet. Happy New Year. All right. Good morning, Karen in Nantucket, in Kentucky. I'm a nervous wreck. I just crossed Nantucket with Kentucky. I hate it when technology scares me. It's awful. This has been a bit of a stressful moment, and I'm gonna morning, and I'm gonna kind of weave it into my commentary today. I have a great show for you. This is a PG-13 rated show today. And I'll tell you why in a minute. But I just want to give you some news first. Um, okay, yes, Mike much better, and I'm in focus. That's great. Yeah, I have two of my favorite rugs up. When I get more confident with this, I'll push the thing back a little bit and let you see some of the other rugs I have hanging here. But I really love these two. I got them from the same person on eBay. You know what else is on eBay? I just want to let you know in case you're interested, there's one bid on it now. It's at $115 plus 23 shipping. I always tell you when there's a Three Bears because we did so much with Garrett Bluenose patterns. And I know there's a lot of you looking for them. This one is $115. It's on eBay now and the auction ends in 2 hours. It's Monday morning, January 4th. The auction ends in 2 hours. So if you like this one, 115, so it's ultimately going to be about 130 when all is said and done. It's a cute one. It's a more sort of monochromatic one, a lot of blue and red. But it's cute. This one doesn't have that plume of smoke coming up from the bowls. I really like that touch, but it's a cute one. I don't know if I told you, I saw one the other day when I was out antiquing, and it was in such ragged condition, and it was really ragged. The colors were pretty good. I have to say they were pretty bright and cheerful, but it was ragged, and it was something like 150, 170. I mean, it was really coming apart in many places. So I thought, let's not do that. And I'm just going to show you this quickly because I ordered this rug and I really like it. It's beautiful. I haven't seen this one before. Tell me if you have. You saw that, Kira. I didn't want to say your name because I didn't want to tip your hand for you, but it's on the pricey side, that one. It's still pretty. How do you hang your rugs? April, I hang them. We just hung them a minute ago. Let me show you. I'm just going to move away. I'm coming back with this stuff. I just put it up at the top. Dual purpose carpet gripper, and it is super lethal. There's been several injuries in the last 15 minutes. It's like a carpet strip. I'm sure there's plenty of people that are going to say, don't do that. It doesn't work well, whatever. It's working for me. And sometimes I like use fishing wire and sew around the back loops or whatever and put it on a yardstick, that kind of thing. Sometimes I put it in a different kind of frame. I have a few big old antique frames awaiting a rug to put inside, so I'll put those in differently. But for these big heavy ones, hanging them, I use this carpet stuff. And it literally, it's like you're hooking them. It's like your comb there, a bit more sparse and deadly. So you don't want these anywhere where you're going to bump into them. Good morning, Susan. Thank you. But this works great for me. Maybe this is not archival. Maybe this is not museum quality solution to hanging rugs. But you know what? Boom, boom, up with 2 nails, and it's up there forever, and it's hanging on there real good. And I think I might even, this one needs to relax a little bit. I might even put just one little corner into some to get them to sit a little bit more the way I want them to sit. But these are both floor size rugs. They're real big, heavy rugs, and this has worked great. They've only been up for 10 minutes, but it's working great so far. So yeah, I got this little rug on eBay. Super cute. I don't know if I'm going to keep it. I might end up putting it up for sale. I think it's adorable. The bunnies, I hadn't seen it before, and that's why I bought it. It's beautiful. It's signed. It's certainly hand done. The bunnies on the little homemade seesaw. And I don't know this pattern. If you know this pattern, please tell me, because I'd be really curious. I have this thing with my Hansel and Gretel rug that my mom got me, not this Christmas, last Christmas. And I have this one, and I'm always interested in the Three Bears, but I think I'm going to hook my own Three Bears because I have the pattern. And I like the one of the pigs that's up sometimes, the 3 little piggies. I like that one too, but it's got to be the right one. So I keep thinking I might put together a fairy tale wall, but then I'm thinking, where's that wall going to be? Because this place is already getting really, the wall real estate is like high, because there's hardly any space left with all my stuff. And I like to hang paintings and stuff too that the kids do. So I might end up putting this one back up, but I just had to get it. I saw it and I thought, it is so cute. It wasn't very much. And there's not that much color loss. If you look at the back, it's bright on the back, but it's still quite bright on the front. For an older rug, this has got to be a 30s rug. Maybe it's a 40s rug, but I mean, the style and the pattern is certainly a 30s rug, the style-wise. I thought it was really cute. The only reason I wanted to show that to you is because I used it as the thumbnail for this video, because it gave me 3 seconds to tell you what the thumbnail was. So I smiled and then it was no good. And I just grabbed a rug and held it up like this, so there was something other than my face. So this has been a long morning for me already. This morning, here comes the PG-13 content. This is going to be a different kind of a show for us today. Oh, thanks, Penny. Thanks, Karen. So this morning, the first thing I had to do this morning was get a mammogram. And if you've done it, which I hope you have, if you're a female, not fun at all. And I hate to say it, I hate to admit it, because I've had kids, and I had 2 they're both C-sections, but regardless, I've endured a lot of pain over the years just being a grown-up, but it's still no fun. It's no fun. And I have to admit, I'm always afraid that the machine is going to malfunction, and I just am envisioning having nightmares about what that would be like. Has a machine ever malfunctioned? It's like when you're at the carnival and you feel like you're in the ride with this gate thing on your seat that's not quite shut and everybody else's is shut a bit better. That's how I feel about going for a mammogram. Super uncomfortable, to say the least. This is only my second one. They do them on a different schedule in Europe, and I was there most of my grown-up life. But I remember one of my Australian friends came over right before I had to have it done the first time. And she's much older than me. She's maybe in her late 60s. She's a super funny lady. She was here with her partner, and they both had tons of mammograms. And she said, you can practice for this, and so you're not so nervous. And I said, oh my God, tell me how to practice. I'm going to practice so I know what to expect. And she said, yeah, you just go out to your car, you open the trunk, you put your boob in it, and you just start slamming the trunk on it. So that didn't help at all. And I told that joke to the technician this morning, and she definitely didn't like that joke. But it's over. It's over. But it got me thinking about a book. that I got from Michelle Miccarelli. You know, she's one of my buddies out here around New Haven. And it's a very different book. And I wondered if you had seen this book or heard about this book. It's about nudes. Got me, it's the truth. It got me thinking about the body, the human body. You know, we see a lot of nudes, obviously, in painting and drawings in fine art, but we don't always see nudes in rug hooking. It's fairly uncommon. And this book is about nudes. It's called Barely Hooked. It's a great book. I'm going to show you my favorite parts in it, and who hooked my favorite parts. But thinking about nudes and rug hooking, because it's not a common subject by any means. Occasionally you get a rug that has like partial nudity in it, that's based on a fine art painting. Let me show you some examples of that. I ended up Googling, for lack of better resources. I didn't have time last night to go through all my books while I was panicking about the mammogram and thinking, you know, why don't I use this energy to do something positive and come up with a good coffee time idea rather than just panicking and taking sleeping pills and waking up and driving myself there. So I Googled it and I found a few interesting things that I want to show you before I do this website called inherownImagestudio.com. InherownImagestudio.com. Beautiful website. The girl who runs it, her name wasn't immediately available there, but she says, I took up traditional rug hooking after seeing a demo a few years ago. I had been looking for a way of using the wasted ends of my weaving, and it seemed to fit the bill. I love it so much that it's become one of my regular creative pursuits in its own right. I still use my weaving ends, but I also supplement the small balls of yarn in thrift stores in odds and ends like string handles from shopping bags. So in other words, she's a real scavenger. She uses her ends from her weaving, but she's also using, you know, what she finds at Goodwill, those multi bags that they put together that you certainly can use. Just don't put heat on it if it's an acrylic blend. But you can certainly use any of that stuff. The handles from shopping bags, that's a crazy one. I wonder if she means the ribbons or whatnot. But she wrote nudes. I do a lot of nudes. And I photocopied a few of the nudes that she has on this website, inherownimage.com. These first three I want to show you are a sort of triptych that she made, that are based on the biblical story of Lot's wife. Let me make sure that's in focus. That's not quite in focus, is it? It's three ladies, Sal, which I think represents salt, Pilar, like a pillar of salt, and Lottie, Lot, like the husband becomes Lottie. And so this is a set of three that she did. If you remember that story, if you've heard that story, it's the city of Sodom was like burning down, and Lot's wife, very quick reference, looked over her shoulder to see it. And when she did, she turned into a pillar of salt. Not good. But anyway, out of that story, she made these three women. And again, I think this is like salt, and this is Lot, Lottie, and Pillar for the pillar of salt. But I thought, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, thanks, Carol. Hey, Carol. So I thought those were really gorgeous. I felt they really had something because, you know, they're super fine art and they're super graphic. This one's kind of looking over her shoulder too, which is when she turns into the pillar of salt. I just thought they were neat. They're still modest. I think they're all self-portraits, but I thought they really had something. I really liked the form. It reminded me of, let me make sure I got this person's name right. Jill Michaels. This is Jill Michaels. This is Modigliani. You'll recognize the piece of art, a sitting nude. So this is a copy that she made of Modigliani's just sitting nude. This is a pretty well-known painting. But this website, this is Jilly Michaels, and this website is called Artists of Apalachicola. So like Appalachian, but Apalachicola, C-O-L-A. And their sort of tag is Forgotten Lost Artists Sharing Art, which I think is really nice. There's all kinds of art on that website, not just hooked rugs, but Jilly does do hooked rugs. And I thought this was exquisite. So this is based on a fine art painting, of course. And Modigliani's been dead 100 years as of 2020. So it's fair game to use his artwork if you like it. It's fair game to use it for your rugs. You can even put him on Facebook without getting blasted because he's been dead for 100 years. I thought that was beautiful. And then I found this thing, which is on another, remember the episode that we did on like the checkered stuff? I know you remember the checkered stuff. Why can't I remember the husband and wife team? Mackenzie, why do I want to say Mackenzie Childs? It is, right? And then I had like another woman that I found who did more sort of Western, Southwestern-y stuff. Forgot her name. She was wonderful too. It's one of those kinds of sites that commercially made stuff, but still really beautiful home stuff, not cheap. This site is called Jungalow, like bungalow, but Jungalow has a bit of a tribal feel to it. And they make this hooked pillow, right? So this is machine made, but it's a really pretty cubist nude, like on a beach at a sunset. I really liked it. I'm trying to get it in focus for you too. I really liked it. I thought it was really different. Very, very, very cubist body. I like the way that the colors are broken down. Thought it was something different. And again, that's at jungalow.com. Oh my God, it's already 10 off, but I started late, so I'm going to run late. So moving on to this book, Barely Hooked. I really love this book. This is maybe a two-parter because there's quite everything in this book is gorgeous and glorious. And the ones that I chose are just the ones that I chose that I like the most. But everybody's taste is different, and they're all glorious. So I want to run through some of those with you. This book was compiled, put together, in other words, authored by Rae Reynolds Harrell, Harrell, or Harrell. She's from Vermont, and this was put out in 2013. And the reason I thought about it was because one of the times I was over with Michelle Hooking, we were talking about this event, and she was saying, because she's got a couple pieces in here, she was saying that the party when this book came out was like one of the best parties of her life. It was in the evening, and all the women that contributed to this book were there. And it was like she described like the candles and the ambiance and being outside in a garden and having some drinks and everybody just being in such a happy mood. It sounded like it was a great opening when this came out, and they showed the rugs and things too. So this book, in the preface, Rae says this book explores self-imagery. Important, right? Important. And it's funny how some of the designs in this book, when you're thinking about doing a nude, particularly of yourself, how are you going to play that? What is it going to be? Are you going to show something very, very modest? Are you going to show something very graphic, something very humorous? Are you going to go for the gold and show something really shocking? It's like anything in life, it's decisions. So part of what's interesting to me with this book, and incidentally, I accidentally have two of them. So I'll list this, or let me know if you're interested in this. I think I bought it for a lot, but I'll sell it for a lot less. It's one of these fancy books that's limited, and they all have the number of the book in it by Rae. But let's look at some of the artists in this book. I want to look at a couple before. I'll go for about 15 minutes, and then let's come back to it because it's too good to rush through. It really is so good. So let's start with this artist, Davy DeGraff from Heinsberg, Vermont. So let me find you one of her pieces, and let's look at it together. Now, this is one of Davy's pieces. Let me see if she wrote anything interesting that we should say. She writes, "Creativity emerges when I seek a quiet, peaceful space for reflection." So that's a good start when you're working on like a nude picture of yourself, right? That's a good place to start. Incidentally, the back of the book is almost like a high school scrapbook. It's showing the person who did it, the pieces, and the pieces of theirs that are in the book. And it's been airbrushed, so all of the women look nude, but they're not, because I've seen these photos elsewhere and they're perfectly clothed. But I thought it was a cute touch. So let's look at the Davy one that I just pulled the thing out of. That was good, huh? Lost the page on that. Perfect. Good one, Mama. The kids aren't even here, and I'm calling myself Mama. Give me one hot second. How did I do it? I don't want to give you a sneak preview of all the ones in between. That was a beautiful Matisse. I'm not letting go. I got to show you. The funny thing about this book is that there's a few people who use Matisse, the painter, as the sort of platform for their design. And isn't that a curious thing? Because it doesn't say anywhere that you have to use Matisse as an inspiration, but at least 3 people in this book do. So isn't that gorgeous? I mean, I'm out of focus again. Oh, is the picture in focus? Wonder what the camera's doing. Thanks for letting me know, Susan. I wonder if we're in focus at all here. I'm going to keep going because I'm assuming everything else is working. I hope you can see that a bit. Okay, good. Okay, so this is a very Matisse-inspired picture, of course. I mean, this is very recognizable, these huge sort of palmetto-type leaves, the sunbathing. Okay, good. I think it might come and go. I've got to figure that out. The camera's a bit too smart for me. But I thought this one was just gorgeous. The composition is beautiful. It's very, thank you, everybody. It's very much in the Matisse style, but you can see this is also very modestly done, right? You've got like topless, but you haven't got anything really shocking. It's beautiful and graphic, I think. I think it autofocuses, Heather. We're going to have to work on this together. This is like scary. Um, I like the way the graphic lines, the black lines really punctuate, like even the fingers. If you look at the fingers here, really well done. Just really, really nice design. So Davy did that one. And then let me see if she did another one in the book. I have a feeling I pulled more than one of hers. Some artists did like several. And then that gets exciting. Yep, so she did the Matisse. She does have another one in the book, but the one I wanted to show you was the Matisse. Let me show you one by the author of this book, Rae Reynolds Harrell. Which one did I choose? Let's see. Her quote is, "I awaken each morning dreaming of my next piece of artwork." She does a beautiful job compiling this book, and she does a beautiful job. I love the colors too. Really, that was just one of my favorite pieces in this book. She does a great job introducing the book and doing the preface to it. It's very lighthearted. It's funny. You know, it doesn't sound pretentious. It's in a nice vein, and it's a beautiful project. I don't know anybody that's attempted to do sort of a nude rug hooking book. But why can't I find her little page? She's got about, I don't know, 9 or 10 pieces in here. Here it is. She's got the entry page, as she should. Now, this is an Adam and Eve, so you can expect to find Eve in a book like this, right? Because it's very, very fitting. There's a couple versions of Adam and Eve, particularly Eve, in this book on nudes, barely hooked. So let me show you this. The whole thing isn't the rug. This is the rug. And then this snake is a cloud. We got the serpent in the garden. You can see the old man up in the clouds, up in heaven. I'm guessing that that's God watching, or a symbolic God watching. But I think it's extraordinarily pretty. So this is Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, and surely you can expect to find a nude of Adam and Eve in a book on nude rug hooking. But you know, it got me going on another direction. And I remembered an article that was in Rug Hooking magazine. I'm going to end on this, and then we'll return to this book because it's not worth rushing through it. It's too good. Everything in there is just amazing. So we'll finish that tomorrow. But I want to show you this before I log off. December 2019, Rug Hooking magazine, right? This one is the one that had that nice article on the Zarula's Caswell carpet that I hadn't even focused on or read when I did that segment. So I went back and looked at that last night, and it just slayed me. It was so good. But there's another article in this issue, December 2018, Unhooking Adam and Eve, a different Adam and Eve. And I want to walk you through this article for a couple of minutes because this really had me going last night. I got like all emotional and crazy because it was so good. It was such a good piece. This is by Barbara Prentice, and it's called Hooking Adam and Eve. I'm going to tell you the story, but just take a look at what we're talking about first. The small one is a close-up, of course, and that's Eve. I'm doing this now because we just talked about one of Adam and Eve, but this is the story here. I'm paraphrasing because this is Barbara's article, again, December 2019, but she talks about having first encountered Eve, this image of Eve, in a college classroom during a course in medieval art. She said she was struck by her insouciant, almost absent-minded air, and I'm paraphrasing, and the fact that it was from a sculpture. She doesn't say that in this part, so it's a little bit confusing, but this is a sculpture that she saw a photograph of in her art class on medieval studies. So the tale of the sculpture is also an interesting part of this story, which has an amazing climax. It's a remnant from the north portal of the Cathedral of St. Lazarus in Auden, Burgundy, that was carved in 1130. It's considered to be the first female nude that was carved since the Roman Empire days, right? Like, so in France, this is the first known or first discovered and dated female nude that's been acknowledged, which is in itself extraordinary. So she does a little backstory and says during the Enlightenment, uh, Adam and Eve as a subject and an art were declared to be grotesque, or in other words, better word, lewd, right? Like inappropriate. So Eve, Adam, and all of the other stonework from this little church were ripped out violently by a mason in 1769, and the tympanum was plastered over, so very plain and bare. Adam completely vanished during this time. Eve was given to one of the masons who was ripping it down, and he used it in his house, but he also covered it. So he plastered over it, and it was hidden in his house. Again, we don't know about Adam. It was hidden in his house until over a century later when someone was doing some renovation restoration work. So this in itself is an amazing story. When she was found in the mason's house, long after he was dead, it was put up in the cathedral at no, sorry, from the cathedral. It was put up at the Musée Rollin, so it still remains in France, in Burgundy, in France. But in the meantime, she was super inspired by this image of Eve and by the story of Eve being lost in the wall and having lost Adam completely and being all on her own. And she designed this to try to hook it. So she designs it and she tells a long story about getting the photocopier out, black and white picture of an 1130 stone, trying to get the colors and the levels right so she can see it and trace it and get a good design. Let me show you her one more time. I know I'm getting a little glare. For the page, it's an awkward shape and it's big. So she struggles, and she describes it as being hugely frustrating. So she puts it away for a couple of years, and then she takes it out again, and she actually takes a class with Jewel Marie Smith, who has a piece in this book that I'll show you tomorrow in the Barely Hooked book. But she takes a class with her. She gets inspired again, so she goes back to Eve. She rips some stuff out, puts some more stuff in. It's still not working. She's doing searches all the time to see if anything new is found, particularly a better image of Eve, so she can get in there and dig a little bit better, get a little bit more of a line drawing in place. And she's also looking for Adam, who's not turning up at all. So this goes on for years. And you probably know this story because it's a familiar story for hookers. So what happens next is she takes another class and gets inspired again, decides to go another round with Eve. And she does one of her typical searches, her regular routine searches, to look for another image of this so she can find some of the detail that she's just sort of fudging. She wants it to be a bit more accurate. And instead of pulling up a picture of Eve, she pulls up the picture of Adam because he's been discovered just since the last time she checked. So she said she almost lost her mind. She was so excited. She was able to see much better what the background looked like. And she was able to see what Adam mostly looked like. Of course, this is a stone statue from the 12th century relief, like a bas-relief that's had a lot of damage. It's been purposely hidden and damaged, but she still was able to see a lot. But she says she couldn't believe that she found Adam just while she was finishing up Eve. Isn't that amazing? I'm hoping you can see that okay. Yeah, that's not bad, huh? I just think this is a gorgeous story. So what she did, there are two separate pieces. So this is Adam, he's opposite Eve. And the one note that I know, isn't that a great story, Carol? The one note that I want to make that I think is interesting is it's something that Barbara Prentice said in this article. I'm going to hold up Eve one more time. She said, one of the curious things about these two sculptures, right, now that they're back together, Eve has her Adam back. They're together again after hundreds and hundreds, after a millennium, right? So they're together again. And she said, the curious thing is, even when you put these two together and you look at them together, there is no serpent in the garden. And she said she thinks that the original artist, instead of using a serpent, made Eve's body, November, December 2018, exactly, made Eve's body kind of slithering like a serpent. I think that's a really astute and interesting observation, that she is really slithering. She's quite modestly done too. We've seen more bare Eves in our lifetime, certainly. But I just thought that was such an amazing story. And because there's a few nudes in that Barely Hooked book, see, Adam doesn't have the same feel. He's kind of reclining, he's reclining. But Eve was really slithering. And I guess there's some judgment there, right? She's the one who supposedly tempted Adam, et cetera, et cetera. We won't go there. But I just think it was an interesting insight that Barbara wrote. I mean, just adds another layer of interest to the story. So why don't we say that tomorrow we're going to come back to Barely Hooked. Isn't it funny how it's in kind of an innocuous, sneaky, it doesn't say anything about the subject of this book anywhere. It's just Barely Hooked. There's a lot of nudity in here, but I'm choosing ones for us tomorrow. I already did to go through that are really beautiful, beautiful examples of rug hooking, expertly done. And you're probably going to know a lot of the names of the people who did this. I'll let you know tomorrow. Let me know if you're interested in this book, because again, I have doubles. So I'll probably put it up something like 50. Again, it's one of these books that costs a bit more, but it is what it is. I accidentally bought two. So, that's me being a ding dong. Oh, sure, Penny. Yeah, that story in rug hooking was amazing. So we'll return to the book on the nudes tomorrow, and in the meantime, have a great day. Thank you, Carol, and I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you, Cynthia. Have a great day. I'll see you in the morning, same time, same place, and I'll know where to go next time. Have a great day. Ooh, I can't end the thread.